Hey, what's going on out there, YouTube? This is STL0320 representing JBS. So I'm back here again for another movie review, guys. And I actually got an early advanced screening to the new movie, Kong Skull Island. I just did a reaction to it, so check that out if you want to see my initial thoughts and reactions. But this is me gonna be dissecting this film, which I went in kind of not interested in it at all. I actually been really more interested in Logan, and I was thinking Kong Skull Island, it could go one way or another. As much as I enjoyed, Gareth Edwards' 2014 Godzilla, when I heard this was coming up and I heard he wasn't directing it, and I was like, who is Jordan Vogt-Roberts? You know what I'm saying? I went in with very low expectations of not thinking this is going to be something enjoyable. I think that my friend Lucas has said that this at least is going to be a gorgeous film. And that is very true, and it's very action-packed, but the film was actually pretty good. It had a heart to it, which I was very caught off guard by. Like, there were moments in this film where people that were dying, like characters I was kind of slowly getting attached to, and people would just die. And I just really didn't expect it. And the thing about it, the action and the gore and the thrill and the anxiety, they all work hand in hand with the central theme behind being in a place of uncomfortability and being in a place that you really is not your natural habitat, a place you know for a fact you need to be away from, and that is the embodiment of Kong Skull Island. So as far as the visual effects, and as far as the way that Kong looks, as far as the environment and the island itself that is so alive and so feeling of danger. Like, there were moments, I think there was one moment, it was like a stack of bamboo that were kind of going up and down, and I was like, wow, this seems really peaceful. And then all of a sudden, something happens. I'm like, what the heck was that? How did that happen? And on top of that, the deaths when they happen, you're kind of you brought to understand, now these guys are jerks. They're not goofballs. They're likable soldiers and dedicated to their craft and dedicated to people. It's just circumstances are happening, and you're like, wow, that person has died. Wow, that just happened. And the animation and the CG, they hit you. I think the best comparison that I could give is thinking back to Jurassic Park 1. Like, when you're like, what is gonna happen? What are you gonna do when you have a velociraptor or you have a T-Rex? What can you do against something like that? And that's the weight that I felt within this film, as well as the score. I think the score was very beautiful. I was really caught off guard by how good the actual score was. I thought that it was going to be this weird kind of random kind of score, but it flowed very nicely. And then let's go on to the actors. So John C. Reilly, if you don't know him from Step Brothers and other comedic things like Talladega Nights, he is so funny in this film. I thought that he was gonna be the thing that's gonna bomb this film, but he actually has a lot of heart to his film. I think that the very beginning of the film captures the islands and the essence behind survival, camaraderie, and the need to survive very well. And as far as the actors that precede it, I think John C. Reilly was definitely one of them. Samuel L. Jackson's character was actually very interesting because he wasn't exactly forthcoming with a lot of the things that he was doing. Same thing with John Goodman. John Goodman actually did a good job, but there were things that happened, and you're like, this could have been avoided because of this person kind of situation. And I think that with John C. Reilly and with Samuel Jackson and John Goodman, they were the wild cards where they had their own agendas, but they also had their own ideals and perspectives of how to deal with this situation. And I thought that was really interesting. Toby Kebbell makes an appearance in this, and I actually was surprised that I actually was taken to his character. He's going through and writing things to his son. Who else was in this? Oh my gosh, Tom Hiddleston was this epic kind of tracker that some of his story I think could have been developed a little bit more. But the scenes that he was in, it was really good. I think the thing about this film is I went in thinking, that Tom Hiddleston and Brie Larson were going to be, the main characters, but it's not true. Kind of like the original, I don't want to compare this to Transformers, but in terms of the original Transformers where, yes, you had Shia LaBeouf that was the main protagonist, but there was a whole slew of characters that meant something, that they mattered. That was the same thing with this group. These group of soldiers and scientists, they actually mattered. they weren't just B characters. Like you cared when they died, you know what I'm saying, or you cared when they lived, or you cared when something happened. I think that with Brie Larson's character, she brought like this interesting level of connection and emotion. Like the scenes that were very emotional, she acted them very well. I don't know if it needed to be, but it was very intriguing when they actually did allow those to kind of flow naturally. Newcomer who plays Heath in The Walking Dead, as well as he's in the New 24. Corey Hawkins. He was actually pretty decent as well. Like the thing about it, from a story standpoint, it pulls into the mythology of the character Kong, as well as other characters such as like Godzilla, and there's so much that are built onto the mythos that you cannot come out of this not wanting more, or a connection between Godzilla and Kong, and not just that, the time frame is totally different. Like this takes place in 1973, if I'm not mistaken, earlier than that in the beginning of the film. But the thing about it is, watching the film is very entertaining. It's very engaging. It's eye catching. Alicia was right next to me, and like we were looking at it in IMAX 3D. The 3D is actually really good as well. And so, I mean, it wasn't too many things I looked at this film and was like, that was bad or that was bad. It's like, really, I was pleasantly surprised. This would be a movie that I would sit there and watch again and again and again. From entertainment value, as far as the visual effects were amazing, and then there's just the comedic moments as well as the emotional moments. I don't think there's too many emotional moments. I think that when you had a point that needed to come across with the character like John C. Reilly's character, it hit the nail on the head. When somebody was in danger and you go back knowing you're putting your life in danger to go help somebody, you feel that, and as far as a viewer is concerned. So I think that it was a more simplistic kind of story. I think that the storyline for Godzilla was better, but I think that this was an all-around better film. In addition to even Jurassic World, as much as I love Jurassic World, I actually would pick this over that. And I when I went to the movie, I didn't think that. And so for me, I give Kong Skull Island, if not an 8.5 out of 10, or 9 out of 10. I actually didn't find too many faults in it. I thought it was very entertaining. I actually was engaged by it, and I thought it was an all-around good film. So anyway, hopefully y'all enjoyed this review for Kong Skull Island. Definitely check it out when it comes to you. And I don't think I'm going to be doing a spoiler review, but if you'd like me to, let me know. And be sure to wait till after these long credits, because there are some key moments that you have to see in the after credit sequence. That's all I gotta say. And yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Anyway, keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. Peace, everybody.